You're tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network, featuring news, interviews, and commentary on all things Black Hollywood. Hollywood redefined. From Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is Black Hollywood Live. Next, featuring intimate and in-depth interviews with Black Hollywood's next edition of stars and influencers. Black Hollywood Live. Hollywood redefined.
You're listening to Black Hollywood Live.
And now, the host for Black Hollywood Live, next.
Hello. Happy Friday. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jessica King, also the producer of Fox's hit show, Dish Nation. Check it out. And who am I joined by? Tell us who you are.
Hello, everyone. I am Megan Thomas.
What up, guys? Nick Perdue.
We have an amazing guest today.
We do.
You may know her as Veronica Fisher on Showtime's Shameless. She's a great ball of energy and positivity. Yes. Please welcome Shanola Hampton.
Hello.
Thank you.
How are you?
I'm so great. Thanks for having me. I love this setup.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. We were like getting down.
Yeah, we were already. Y'all are hot. Everybody is so hot on this show.
Aww.
Really pretty.
Because of you. We had to step our game up.
I know. We're like, what are you going to wear?
Nick brushed his beard.
I did.
For you, Shanola.
I see it, Nick. I see you.
Well, we're going to jump right in, try to make the most of our time here. You grew up in Summerville, South Carolina. You're actually going back in a couple weeks.
I am.
You grew up with 4 sisters. Tell us what your childhood was like there.
It was hectic because we all had to share a bathroom and a telephone. See, the kids these days, they don't know anything about sharing a telephone because everyone has a cell phone.
Right.
But the house phone was the phone, and if you didn't answer the beep when call waiting came, because see, we had it when it would be busy, and then call waiting, and then your friends would say, I called, but no one answered. You said, why didn't you answer the beep? So we fought. It was really great, but we're all really, really close.
Oh, that's great.
And I'm the middle, so I have 2 older, then there's me, and then I have 1 younger than me, and we are really, really, really different. I'm the crazy actress with the dreadlocks. I have 2 sisters who are principals and have their doctorates, and then my baby sister, well, she's the baby.
Yeah.
So it's when you see a picture of all of us, everyone has like their hair, and then me, and it's like I'm like. And everybody else is all conservative. 2 Republicans and 2 Democrats in the family.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, we're very diverse.
Yeah. Wow. Did you guys ever have any like competition growing up?
You know, yes, competitive, healthy competition. Because my dad was very big on education. So if you made the honor roll, that meant you got a lobster tail from Steak and Ale.
Oh.
So everybody, Steak and Ale was the joint.
Yes, it was.
Yes. It's now shut down. But so everyone would try to get the honor roll and get a lobster tail. So when you didn't get it, you would eat the lobster tail in front of the other sister, like, oh, look at my butter.
Good.
How are your grades? Oh, you didn't make it. You didn't get all A's. Sorry, because if you got a B, you didn't get the lobster tail. It had to be all A's. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
What did you eat if you didn't get the honor? Like slop? Like what did you
No,
get?
you get like you had to order from the kids menu, which was usually what, like chicken fingers or a piece of. I mean, it was not a lobster tail. And then my dad would get a big mud pie, a big piece of mud pie, which is like ice cream and chocolate, and it's decadent. And no one got that. So he would just eat that.
That was only his?
Yeah. And we'd be like, Daddy, can we have a piece of mud pie? No. You have to work and earn your own mud pie. Now I'm eating my own mud pie. Thanks, Dad.
There you go. Speaking of your father, because he was a car salesman.
Yes.
And your mother was an IRS agent.
Yes.
Right. So what was that like? Like how have they shaped you, them being with this strong sales background?
Yeah, well, they really, the work ethic, even my grandfather, I started working, I actually had to do the worker's permit, started working when I was 15 years old because nothing was going to be handed to us. Yeah. My mom would always, we'd be like, do we have money? No, you don't. We do. I said, oh, okay. It's like the Cosby Show, really, in our house. But so they really shaped me to go after and be the best. Even if I was taking trash from the street, I had to be the best trash picker-upper ever. And it was really instilled, no matter what we did, we had to do it to our best. Man. That's my family. Very hardcore.
Gotta love it.
But still chill.
Right.
Even though he was a preacher.
Right.
In the South. So our house was still the place to be.
It was a place to be.
It was a place to be. All of my sister's friends hung out because we had a pool, so we had pool parties. It was super duper duper fun.
It was the cool house.
But it was the really cool house, but we don't play.
Right.
It was a nice balance.
Yeah.
Were you in church like 5 days a week?
Yes. No, yes. And then you would lie to your friends about where you were going because you were embarrassed. Because you were going back to church, and revivals were like Monday through Friday, and then you still had to go to. My dad was a pastor of 2 churches, so I went to 2 services every Sunday.
Oh my
and God
gosh.
forbid if there was like another service for a 3rd service, like
Yeah.
a special choir anniversary. But you, what are you doing? You gonna watch the Cosby Show? I'm going to church.
Again.
Or wasn't the Cosby Show good? Yes. What was your favorite part? Mine too. I was in church. I didn't see it.
So your dad, you always wanted to be an actress, right?
Yes.
And your father said for you to do it as a hobby.
That's right.
How did you keep your dream of being an actress alive?
Well, I think this also goes back. We're very headstrong. And I knew from the age of 4 that this is all I wanted to do. So I said to him, no, I don't think I'm going to do it as a hobby. I think I'm going to do it as my career. I'm going to go and I'm going to major in it. And he said, fine, if that's what you want to do, but you will get your master's.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I'll go. So I went and got my master's, and I said, now I have satisfied you. I'm going to Hollywood. Goodbye.
Right.
And he was like, all right, go do it. You did everything I asked you to do, and you have a fallback, because my master's degree allows me to be able to teach undergrads. And he's big on, this career is so up and down. You never know. One day you're on a show, and the next day you haven't worked for 5 years.
Right.
But I can always go back and teach. And
Right.
being a college professor, that's not a bad career.
Definitely.
So,
Right.
so we did that. So, yeah, I just said this is what I was going to do.
And
That's
do
what
you
I
ever
told him.
joke with him and say, Dad?
Yes.
Yeah, you remember you said I can do this for a living?
I do. And he still calls me a theater bum. You're just a theater. My dad is really, really, oh, please, theater bum. But then now he says, okay, you did that, but now I want my house on the lake. So I'm now working towards something else to buy my house on the water.
Right.
Well, you grew up in theater, musical theater, and everything, and you love to perform on stage. What are some of the things that you miss the most about theater right now?
I really miss that live interaction. There's nothing like having the audience in the palm of your hand and listen to the gasp and the laughter and the tears sometimes and the applause. But what's really nice is, the greatest thing about social media is a lot like live theater in the sense that you definitely get that immediate response.
Right, yeah.
So after our show airs on Sunday, or even during the show airing on Sunday, they will say, oh my gosh, I can't believe da 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 da. So it's like getting that round of applause, or did that just happen? So it's getting that. So I'm sort of getting a sense of that again in this new age of social media, which is really nice for a theater girl. But I definitely would love to, during a hiatus, go back and do a stint on Broadway and kind of sing. And I was able to sing in a Christmas movie that I did called Christmas in the City,
Oh,
with
fun.
Ashanti and Ashley Williams. And if you ask the people in the South, it's the best thing I've ever done. That Christmas movie on Lifetime was the best thing ever. Oh, we watched it 4 times. Shameless, but Christmas in the City was great. So that's what I would really love to go back and do theater again.
Yeah, that's awesome. Are there any other big differences that you draw between acting for TV and acting on stage?
Yeah, they're definitely, in each genre, it's very different. Stage, you have the opportunity to rehearse for a long period of time, which means you have an opportunity to really get to know your character and find differences in your character, depending on the audience, because the audience makes a new energy for you and for what you're bringing to the stage. So that's a big difference there. It's similar in the sense of being on a series, actually doing a character that you get to develop this character for a long period of time, which has been really nice. And if people watch Shameless, they've watched Veronica grow from just sort of like the da-da-da-da-da to I want kids, and now I'm having kids. And so you get to really develop the life of this character, which is really nice. And then movies is very, right then, you get into that character for 2 months at a time, and then it's over.
Yeah.
So you say goodbye. So I have a love for all of them. My first love is theater.
It's your baby.
It's my baby, because I'm so damn loud. I don't need a mic.
That's funny. So now, because you spoke about your master's that you got from the University of Illinois.
Yes.
Right. So now, do you feel that getting a master's in fine art it's kind of helped you really hone your craft?
It's helped me develop my craft for sure. I would say that more than that, for me, my graduate studies was not the easiest of times, so it taught me a lesson in getting really thick skin and it taught me the big lesson in rejection. And not necessarily getting a part that you feel like you deserved and that you auditioned well for, but because of whatever, someone else got it, some of the politics of the business. So it taught me more about life and preparing me to come to Hollywood than it, and I was able to really hone myself as an actor, but it was more of a life lesson being in that environment for 3 years and it being so strict and having to deal with all the ins and outs and sort of not being a cookie cutter of what they think an actor should be or what you should bring or how your voice should sound and sort of being myself. So it was a very difficult time. It was actually the hardest time in my life was graduate school and really making sure that I didn't lose myself or my voice, which I did lose some of that, but I was able to regain that again and be like, ha ha, I'm on a show.
Joke's on you.
Right.
Thank you, Dean.
But now, because you also taught a class, too. You taught
Several.
Theater as a Black experience.
Yes.
Right? And so
That
kind
was
of
my
tell
favorite
us
part.
about that.
Yes, you know what's really fun when you go to a large university, they're TAs, so you're really essentially the professor. You do the syllabus, you do everything. So I taught undergrads and freshman classes. One of the classes I taught was Theater of the Black Experience, where you just go through different plays that are written by people of color, and the freshmen come in and they take it and they think, oh, it's going to be easy, and I'm like, welcome to my class. It will not be an easy. You will work and you will do projects, and it's really fun because you're teaching people who are not majoring in theater, and you're allowing them to have an appreciation for something that you love. So it's nice to see their light go, oh, well, that's cool. That's fun. It's not just to be or not to be. It's so many other things. And so that was really fun for me. That was actually my best part of graduate school because I thought all I ever loved, like when I said to my dad, I'm not doing it as a hobby. This is what I want to do for my life. I thought all I could do was be an actress. And then I was like, oh, this teaching thing, I get
so much
excited
more.
about.
Yeah.
I love it. And I came out here, and before I was on a show, I was teaching actors and young people and bartending at the same time. And so it's really a passion that I have because I love to watch people get it. And I love to pull the truth out of actors and say, that wasn't real. Let's do this again. And I threw my shoes at my students and everything. I was really great. You would love me as a
So
professor.
cool. Yeah.
Right. I'm trying to get in your class.
Yes.
What are you teaching?
Everybody wanted my class. It's booked. No.
Well, because I know that in past interviews you did talk about opening up a performing arts school.
Yes. That's
And
my
so
passion.
where would you want to open it up? And then why would you want to open up a performing arts school? And then where would you want to open it?
One is a lot of the funding, especially in the South, has been cut for the arts. And I find that to be just a travesty. It's such an outlet to express yourself. It's a way to get out emotions that you can't really do in real life, and you're able to exercise certain demons, and it's actually really good therapy. And as a young girl, especially with a lot of energy, I was able to channel that energy for something really great that ended up being my career.
Yeah.
So where would I like to open it up? Of course, I like to go back down south and open it up. I think that there are so many artistic people out there, and they are stifled by regular schools sometimes because people don't have an appreciation. The math and science is all great, but that appreciation to be an artist, to sing, to dance, to act, that's something that we need a lot of in the world. Artists are what makes the world kind of flow, and it connects each individual, all ethnicities. And so I have to do that. That is my lifelong thing. And with my sisters as principals, I have people to run the school.
Yeah.
So we're set up for it. It's just going to be a matter of time and funding before it happens, and I will make that happen.
Oh, yes.
There you
Put
go.
that out
Cool.
there.
Yes, it will happen.
Put it out there.
Yes. I do vision boards.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah, and everything on my I now had to move to another one because everything on my vision board was check.
Wow.
So I believe in it completely.
Love it.
Right.
Yeah.
So you said you were a bartender.
Yes.
You bartended for 10 years.
Yes, I did.
But you didn't drink.
Not at all.
So how was it watching all these drunk people and you're the sober one?
Oh, it's hilarious. Oh, it's so much fun to say you have just gone from zero to crazy
Right.
in a matter of 3 drinks.
Right.
But as a bartender, you're also a therapist. So it was really nice, especially when I was at one place for 10 years. So I got to see their kids grow up, the mistresses
wow.
come in. And
You're at the same place?
Yeah, I was at the, it's a crazy, I went through divorces with people and illnesses. And it really, my regulars, they bought me my first condo. I always say that because you sit there, you
support
listen,
you.
they give you and they knew what I wanted to do. Now, also in that environment, when you say, I'm an actress, they're like, yeah, so is everybody else.
Right.
So it's really nice for them to say, oh, she was our bartender.
Yeah.
And in my town, they know me more as the singing, dancing bartender than they do as Veronica from Shameless. So
Right.
it's great. Are you that girl? Yes, I am. No, the one that worked at BJ's. Yes, I am.
What was your favorite drink to make?
I kill a martini.
Okay.
I kill apple martinis and anything martini, Cosmos, I can kill. I also was very good. People loved my Long Island iced tea.
There you
'Cause
go.
it was all of the liquors, of
All
course.
alcohol.
But then Shanola gave a little special, just a little extra, sweet and sour, Pepsi, lemon,
Wow.
bam!
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Long Island iced tea.
Right.
Yes.
Did you have any flair stuff?
Yeah, well, I didn't flare and I couldn't throw bottles, although I tried to throw a bottle once and it did not end well. So I had to rely on dance moves and shakes and use other things besides those crazy tricks.
Right. What was the craziest story you ever heard or you ever had happen to you while you were bartending?
Well, let's see. There's so many crazy things. Well, I had one person who would have his wife come in a certain time and the mistress come in a
my
certain
gosh.
time. This really, like, it would, so I would know what they drank. And then one time the wife came in and I mixed up which one it was, which I
Right.
rarely do. I'm usually very, very good at that. And so she was like, well, who did you bring in here that I was like, oh, no, did you? I was like, you want the da-da-da-da-da, right? Hey, I almost said a name. Hey, da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, no, that's not what I drank. And so it was,
Wow.
it went down
Damage
at the
control.
bar. Yeah. We've had lots of things happen. We've had fights, even in our little town at the bar. I mean, all sorts of things happen.
Oh, my
Somebody
was-
chipped their tooth because they were drunk and hit the wall.
Was that the divorce that you saw happen? with the...
That was the divorce I saw happen. And she later brought her boyfriend back. It's just 10 years.
Wow.
Right.
So I got to
Wow.
see it all.
Oh my gosh, I love
Wow.
it.
That's so crazy. Yes, it was.
So you landed your first guest role in Ryan Murphy's show Popular, which I loved that show, by the way.
I love that you do research.
And his name is everywhere these
Everywhere.
days. Do you still keep in contact with him?
I've seen him a couple of times, and I'm like, I know you don't remember. He's like, yes, I remember you. But I only have seen him socially at events. He probably really didn't know who I was. But it was a really cool part because I was just working. I just came here for the summer during graduate school. And I was working as an intern at the casting office that was casting Popular. And I was just my regular, crazy singing self. And Eric Dawson, who I give credit to why my career is the way it is, said, hey, you want to come audition for the show? I'm like, I wasn't SAG or anything. It's like, yeah, of course I want to audition. So I go in and I had to play like a pregnant teenager, and I got the part, and they Taft-Hartley me. And this was all the summer. I had to go back to school. All in the summer. I got my SAG. I got my first TV show. It was insane.
Wow.
And I shot it. And then that scene actually got cut, which I didn't know was a possibility because I'm green. So I go and I'm telling everyone that I'm on this show.
Right.
My whole family set up to watch it. Everyone has their snacks, everyone in school, and the scene was cut. So later on when I came back, he cast me again, and that made it.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's
So that was
awesome.
embarrassing.
Yeah.
Now I don't really tell people when I'm doing guest. I don't know. I may or may
You
not
have to
be
wait.
in the
Right,
show.
Yeah.
right. May or
Listen,
may not.
you're
It's a surprise.
Just turn on the channel and tell me if you see anyone.
Well,
Wow.
speaking of Ryan, he has his musical background, and you have your musical background.
Yes.
Do you plan to incorporate music into your career more often in the future?
I would love that. That's why one of the major reasons why I wanted to do the Christmas movie, because I was able to sing, and I haven't been able to really do that in any other project. So Glee would have been my dream job at that age. I'm like, you have no idea, just to be doing music. It's musical theater in front of a camera. It's
Right.
amazing.
Best of both worlds.
And then Smash came, and I was obsessed with Smash. Anything that. So yes, do I have plans on doing it? Not in the immediate future. Would I like someone to have plans for me to do it? Sign me up.
Yes.
Yes, please. So I would love that. I would love to do that.
That's awesome.
Or just to do a guest star on one of those shows
Right.
would be really fun.
Really great.
Yeah. And in 2005, right, you had a reoccurring role on the hit show Related.
Yes. I was so mean on that show. I was nasty, and I'm actually really good friends with the girl who played my roommate, but I was so horrible to her. But yeah, on Warner Brothers or one of those channels. I think it's when they combine.
Right. Yeah, it was,
right there.
2005.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Yeah. But because the show starred Jennifer Esposito.
Yes.
Right? So, but now was that exciting one to land, like a reoccurring role on a show? And what was it like working with Jennifer?
The fact that I was able to do a recurring was amazing because I'd only done co-stars and guest stars up until that point. And that's when I left bartending for a little while because I said, I have made it! Not realizing that shows don't always stay on the air. And I wasn't a series regular. And then there was a strike, but I digress. It was really nice. And Jennifer was just coming off of Crash. And then, which was such a huge success. So there was that was awesome. It was everywhere. And then working with her, but all the ladies were really lovely. But Laura Breckenridge who's played my roommate, was who I worked immediately with and the most with. And she is just amazing and one of my best friends.
Aww,
so sometimes you get friends on these,
those
and
people
sometimes you
along
don't.
the way.
Right.
You don't always get a friend. There's some people you never want to see again.
Tell us a story. Don't say a name. Don't say a name.
Okay, I won't say a name.
But tell a story about somebody that you're like, we're never friends. No.
Well, there are a couple. No, I'm just kidding. I can really pretty much get along with anyone, but I will say that when you go on as a guest star on shows, it's sometimes intimidating because they're a family and they're the lead, and some people, and usually everyone's pretty nice. If you come on our show, you won't have any horror stories because we're like, come in, let's party, let's eat. When we go to Chicago, we're fun. I mean, we really are. We're a nice group of people. But I went on one show as a guest star. And I was playing. It was a show where it was a hospital show. I don't even care. And you'll know it was on Lifetime. But anyway, no, I'm just kidding. So anyway, one of the leads, I've always been a very thin girl. But I heard about how people like try to psych you out before scenes, and I said, no one does that. That's so crazy. So I was doing the scene, I had to lift up my shirt, and she says to me, so, are you going to stick your stomach out like that when we shoot?
Wow.
This is right before action, so I said, are you calling me fat? No. Okay, rolling action, and I'm like, what the F? Who does that?
Oh my
I
gosh.
will never forget. And then the crew, I remember saying, this is her on a good day.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
And at the time, I said to myself, gosh, I could never be like that. It is just my dream to be able to go to work every day.
Right.
How can you be nasty? How can you, I would be so gracious if I were ever on a show. How could you ever be like that?
Yeah.
And so she called me
gosh,
fat.
that's
And I
awful.
was not fat, by the way.
Right.
Seriously.
She was just mean.
I want to
Mean
know
Girls.
who it is.
Go look it up.
Okay, what
say,
color
like-
is her hair?
like-
How tall is she?
Has she won any awards, and is she working currently right now?
I haven't seen her in anything lately.
So there
Well,
you
there
go.
you go.
There you go.
And that's what
Karma.
happened.
Right.
I'm just waiting for her to be a guest star on my show. No, I'm just kidding. I would never do
You
that.
stick your stomach out? But you also you lended your voice to this video game, right? That was Left 4 Dead 2. You played Rochelle.
Yes.
So what was that like?
It's so. Do you know anything about the video game world?
Yes.
I don't.
It's a completely different world, is it not?
It
There are
is, yeah.
chat rooms and
Right.
message boards, and people react to Rochelle like she's for real, for real. And I don't like her. I will stab. I'm like,
Oh my
honey,
gosh.
okay. Or Rochelle's the worst. Or Rochelle, we love you. You know, but they are real about their video
Right,
game.
right.
But my favorite thing about this is I went to Seattle, and I want to be a superhero. It is my dream to play some sort of superhero, fantastic, anything. Like that is my dream, to have a gun and to do this. And, like that's my dream. So the fact that I was able to be the model for this character and hold big guns, because I'm sitting up there, I'm doing the face modeling, and then the whole time I'm like, when do I get to hold the gun? Is it the gun time yet? Is it the gun? And I did it, and it was received by the masses of video gamers, and I had no idea. And to this day, I still get, are you Rochelle? you're Rochelle. Are you Rochelle? But there was a huge poster, and because it's my face, my sister, everyone in the South went to GameStop, and there's this big poster of me with the gun, and my sister's like, can I get that poster when y'all done advertising? So they have a poster of me as Rochelle.
Cute.
So now, did you buy the game and did you play it?
I have not played the game. My nephews have. It's very violent.
Right.
It's very gory and bloody.
But you're in it though.
Left for Dead.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a lot of killing. So I haven't played
Stop,
it yet.
guys. I have to heal.
That's me.
Oh, that's you.
That's Rochelle. I'm like, oh, nice.
I love it.
Yeah. So
Hey, I need some help over here. Anyone?
Left for Dead, ladies and
awesome.
gentlemen, pick it up. Left for Dead 2.
Right.
Hopefully they'll do another one.
Yeah, Left 4 Dead 3.
I don't know what happens with Rochelle though. Because
Should
I
make
hear,
her.
Hopefully
I
she's
hear
not
good
left
and
for
bad.
dead.
Hopefully,
Left for dead.
hopefully she's not left for dead.
Right. So you have been playing Veronica Fisher on Shameless for 4 seasons now. Hooray! What's the best part about being on that show?
The people.
Okay.
We're a family. I get to work with Steve Howie every day, and we are like husband and wife offset too. Like we're an old married couple. It's really exciting. And we both love each other's spouses, so it works out really well. And we just have this synergy that you cannot recreate anywhere else. It's,
Right.
you know, we go when we're on hiatus and do other projects, and they're great and they're fun, but it's nothing like the juiciness of being together. The writing is really good. It's really nice to play a well-rounded character. It's nice to play a character that didn't necessarily have to be a person of color, but we were able to make that happen. Or, you know, they took, I'm not even going to say a risk, they did something that was different on the show, and for it to be such a character where they keep adding layers has been really exciting and enjoyable for me. The whole thing is a dream come true, and I still, and this is the truth, I still walk on to the lot, which I put on my vision board, just visualizing, seeing myself on the lot, and I still walk onto the lot and say, oh my gosh, this is my job, this is where I am. I still soak it in, and we're just got finished season 4, and I still have that reaction when I go in. So it's been just great. It's nothing like it on television. There's no writing like it, and the people are great. So all of that, it's my favorite.
Okay.
I love working. I love seeing my name on a chair. I could go on and on.
Well, as the seasons go on, does it get harder to play Veronica, or does it get harder to come up with new things to show your character or put with your character so that people can see that?
That's a good question. It hasn't gotten mundane for me because she's grown so much and she's gone through different things. The writers have done a really good job of adding more for her each season and adding another facet of being a woman and what happens when you grow in a relationship, in a marriage. And so I've been able to really explore going from, like I said, being like just the happy-go-lucky, we do crazy sex games and I tie him up and stick him in the butt and all that, to and saying I'd never ever want to have children, to having a foster child, and then saying, oh, maybe there is this little bug in me that wants children, to I'm obsessed with having children, so now I'm going to have a threesome with my mother so she can carry my baby. I mean, and you go insane to, oh my gosh, now my mother is pregnant and now I'm pregnant with multiple. So it's there for me in the writing, so that's been really nice. Now we'll see what happens next season now that we do have all of these kids. I'm thinking it'll be a whole other layer because there's nothing like having actual kids. I just had one a month ago. And thank you. There's nothing like having them and then seeing how your life changes after that.
Right.
So
Right.
that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do. And it won't be easy. I mean, it's Shameless.
Right.
It'll be something cray-cray.
Right. And so you once said before that you knew that Veronica was who you were supposed to play when you walked in the audition. What was it about her that made you go, oh, this is me?
I just really responded to her fiery personality, her no filter. I love not having a filter. It gets me in trouble, so I've learned to try to filter a little bit more. But the fact that Veronica doesn't care and she doesn't worry about trouble, and she's very loyal. And when I read the script, really what happened was, I am a TV addict. And when I say I'm a TV addict, I watch over 40 hours of television a week. You could name a show, and it's probably something that I watch. That's why I love television.
Right.
I don't drink, I don't smoke, I eat cupcakes and watch TV. Those are my
yes.
addictions.
Air high five.
And
honey.
I had two. Yes, I mean I'm serious about my cupcakes. I eat one
Yes.
probably every night, if not every other. Honestly. So anyway, so when I read the script, I knew it was something completely different,
Right.
something I'd never seen on television before. And then I see this character come in who's fun and has this relationship, that this banter, and the opening scene is her like riding him from behind. Not that that's me, but it's so fun, you know. So I said, this is something I have to play, and I know I can bring it, and I know I can bring something special to this role. But what was really fun about it is we're so desperate sometimes in this business when we're going into auditions, and you can smell that desperation. And when you're really right for something, that's when you really are trying to show, I'm right, look at me, I'm right. But what really saved me was the fact that I was working on another show, so I'd already had a job. So I had no time to be nervous. I had no time to say, I have something to prove to you. I went in and I just played her the way I knew that she was supposed to be. And then I was like, okay, got to go to work. And I did that, 6 times and finally got the job. So I think it really saved me to have something else, because I would have just been like, I'm so right for this. I'm so right for this.
Right.
Oh, it sounded so good in the car. And then you get in the room, it's like, oh, it didn't sound that right. So, yeah.
Was it ever weird with your family watching when they first saw this? Were they like, oh my gosh? Or were you like, I got to tell them?
I totally prepared them.
Okay.
I mean, you don't tell your dad, who's a preacher from the South, that you're going to be nude in every single episode. And then he watches it and he says, oh, you really are nude in
You
every
weren't
single
lying.
episode. And what's so great about my dad, see, my family's really cool. My 85-year-old grandmother watches it and she loves sex stuff. Like, she loves my sex scenes. She loves it. But he has to turn the channel, which when I,
Right.
go to, I mean, who wants to see that?
Right.
So he tells this story about the first season. I was doing this scene where I'm ironing topless. And he turned the channel. And then he turned back. And I'm still sitting in the scene ironing topless. He turned the channel. He turned back. And I'm still there on it. He's like, how long is this scene? I said, sorry, Daddy.
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, it's been quite a ride, and we are very clear on the difference between work and real life. But it is very awkward because now the days of the internet, everything is a screenshot that is online.
Yeah.
Right.
So when
The
you have
GIF.
nephews who are in the 6th grade who want to do a report on their auntie who's on television, and they www.google.com Shanola Hampton, and my boobs come up with their friends around, it's a little much. They're like, that's my auntie? No, go up. Oh, that's your auntie? No, go back. Turn it off. I'll hate you. I'm like, I'm sorry, honey. But I tried to prepare them and say, that's auntie's job. And it's really hard for them to see me not with their uncle,
Right.
but to be with my husband. But what were you doing with the guy? And it's just a whole conversation.
Right.
So that's kind of the downfall of it. That's kind of it.
Well, you mentioned a little earlier your great chemistry with Steve Howey in the movie. In the show.
Yes.
You are in a relationship with Kevin, his character. And interracial relationships are just starting to become more prevalent on TV. And even sometimes, like, in recent Cheerios commercials, there's still, like, uproar and things like that. Do you and Steve feel like you guys are kind of setting a new standard for the interracial relationship?
I'll answer this in 2 ways. I think that the way Shameless has handled it is that it's just the love of 2 characters and 2 people that love each other. One happens to be black, one happens to be white.
Right.
So it's never really addressed in that, look at us, we are setting an example for people who are, in an interracial relationship. So there's that. Do I feel like we're sort of setting an example? I feel like because it has been so free and so loving that it's not been something that's awkward to the eye of people who watch our show. I think at first they may have been like, ooh, but then they fell in love with these characters and fell in love with their love. And that's where it's really about. And so then they stop looking at the fact that they are in an interracial relationship. So for that part, I think, we have set an example for just showing, because we're probably the healthiest relationship on the show, and the most loving and loyal to one another. And so now the people have really fallen in love with that. They are not looking at that as much as even Scandal. with Carrie and and it's different in the sense that we can actually be together, whereas it's an affair going on there. One that I love, one that I love, but it's still sort of that. Can you take her home? You know, that sort of thing. So there's still that dynamic there. So I think we have set some sort of example, but more about the love than anything else, and embracing that with whomever you love. Yeah. Black, white, boys, girls, whatever. I like it. I love Kevin and Veronica. I know I can't really say that because I'm Veronica, so it sounds like I'm talking about myself. But I love their relationship. It's so juicy. But I also like Mickey and Ian's relationship too. So there's that.
Sorry. So you guys actually have some very intimate scenes on the show, which you were talking about earlier. You got tongue-tied. That's why you had to get stifled a little bit. Thinking about catch my breath a little bit. Hot, undressing me with your eyes open. No, I'm just kidding. Like, you don't even have to. Just go on the show, right? You spoke about threesomes with your mom. You guys have had S&M scenes. Is it awkward to watch these back with your husband at all?
My husband is we've been together for 18 years. We've been married for 14 years.
Oh, yeah.
So he's thank you. Yes, ever since undergrad. And he's the chillest, coolest, babe, whatever guy. The reason why we've been together so long, he allows me to be me, and I'm flirty and fun and loud and all those things. And so when he sees the show, he's usually like, oh, yeah, whatevs. Okay, that's cool. Then one time he was like, oh, I forgot you even had a sex scene that episode because he just fell in love with the story. However, last season, when Mama got in the mix, he was like, this is too much. First of all, he loves Vanessa Bell Calloway. She's our love. She's like my mother. So he's like, first of all, watching Vanessa and then you, and then it's too much. I think y'all have crossed the line. I mean, I think it's too much. I can't watch it. So he would fast forward through those scenes. So was that awkward? Yeah. I'm like, a little bit. Awkward. He's like, you don't just do it once. You just keep going back and back. Who does that?
It never ends.
It never ends. That's how he felt. So with that one, he had a reaction. But because Steve Howie and I have such a great relationship, and so do he and Steve, and our scenes are less lustful as they are kind of funny. Yeah. And even though there's love there, but they're more funny sex, he has no problem with those. But he did, I did a movie called Things Never Said, and that was a little bit hard with Omari Hardwick. Those love scenes, because they were a lot more, I love you, and we're in, nobody wants to watch it with their husband. I was in the movie theater like this. And he's like, no, move your hand. I'm like, please don't watch. This is awkward.
Do you prep him for that stuff?
I do. Okay. I do, but he doesn't like to know when I'm about to go shoot them. Okay. So I stopped prepping him in that way. Like, today's my big love scene, babe. I don't need to know that. Right. I don't need to know. Or I'm like, got to make sure the abs, the six-pack is showing.
I've been preparing for this one.
It's like, again, don't need to know that. But I tell him before he watches, okay, there'll be a scene. Okay. And he's like, okay, cool. When do we not see your breast, Shanola? That's what I want to know.
When you get the script for these, do you have to take a moment? How do you mentally prepare?
For sex scenes?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't care. Yeah, I'm a free spirit. I really don't care. I could go topless right here and just hang out. I mean, I won't, but it's just not.
Do it.
What do we say?
That would be no, because then her husband's gonna call and be like, "How can you close your eyes?" I was on Google. It was.
I'm more European in that way. It's more. It's just the body and it's beautiful. So I don't mentally prepare for sex scenes at all. Steve Howie used to be really nervous. So the first sex scene that we did together, I'll tell you this nasty but fun story, which he hates when I tell the story, but I'm telling it anyway. I love you, baby. But okay. So we're doing the sex scene, and what happens is they'll come and they'll spray stuff to make you look like it's sweat. So they'll spray water on you, which I don't like to, because I said on my skin it doesn't look like I'm sweating. Yeah. It just looks gross. Oily. I just look oily. So do not spray me. So anyways, he's so flippin' nervous shooting this scene, okay? So he's really sweating. So the spray is now mixed with his real sweat. There's a piece of sweat right here, right? And I'm laying down this way, and he's up here. And all I see is this sweat. And I'm looking at him saying, don't hit me. This is the middle. I'm like, don't hit me. Don't hit. Oh, it hit me. His real sweat cut. Oh. So that was like one of the nastiest things that happened. And for that, I'm uncomfortable because I'm a germaphobe and I don't want your sweat on my breath. That happened. That happened.
Okay, so listen. Okay, I have a question. Have you had to shoot since you just had a baby? Have you had to go topless?
No, you know
Okay.
what? Because I'm pregnant all the way through the show, and who wants to see milk boobs?
Right.
Like, I think they drew the line there, and thankfully so, because
Okay.
it's a whole different breast thing
Right,
happening.
right.
Ladies out there who've had babies, you know what I'm talking about. It's a whole different thing. So
Right.
no, I haven't, but I'm sure they'll make up for that in season 5, which
Right.
we're going back for.
Yay.
Yeah, we've been picked up, so I'm excited.
Woo! Very exciting.
Thank you.
So you've been, since you've been on the show, you've gotten to work with William H. Macy, Joan Cusack. What kind of things have you learned from them just working with them?
Let me just say, the two of them in particular are two of the most generous, loving, humble people I've ever met. And when you work with people who are legends, really, in the industry and who have been around and have such a large body of work, who have every right, if there is going to be a diva or an attitude, these are people who may have earned that, unlike some of the young starlets who do not have that body of work and have no right to be a diva, and they want to say, don't look at me and let me act a particular way. But what I've learned from them is, especially with Bill, is to always stay hungry. As excited as I am for this being my first show and to be a series regular, as excited as I am for the success of the show, he's equally, if not more, excited and wanting it to do well. He doesn't have to. See, when I get done, I got to be like, where's my next job? He'll be like,
Right.
I'm going to go do a movie. I have 10 lined up. So it's really this feeling of always being hungry and always staying humble and kind and loving. They are who Joan threw me a surprise baby shower in Chicago. We go to her house. That's the kind of you could go there and say, hey, I know Shanola. She'd be like, come in, have chili, whatever. She's just the most welcoming person. And that sense of professionalism on set is not like, I'm better than you, but let's play. Let's have a tennis match. Let's react together. I remember being in my first scene with Bill Macy, and I was like, I'm acting with Bill Macy. I mean, yeah, I'm up here. I can act with Bill Macy, but it was this moment of just totally fanning out. And I remember we were doing a scene, and this was the first year we worked together, and this will tell you about Bill. I had one little line that I came in, and I don't know what it was. It was something funny or cute. And at the end of the take, this man walks across the room, kisses me on my cheek, and says, that was so good.
Aww.
Oh.
And I was like,
That's all you needed.
So that's the kind of people, and that's what I've learned, and that's what I want to have longevity like they have, and I want to remain humble and hungry at all times. I think when you start getting complacent and thinking you deserve something or that this is not a blessing is when you really lose it all.
Yeah.
You really do. You lose your sense of self, and then you also lose that thing that makes it happen on screen. And that's why they're so freaking good.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true. That's true.
Freaking.
Now, what is the atmosphere like on set? Because you said it's you guys are wild and it's a family, but like, is it really like the show? Like, are you guys just as wild behind the cameras as you are on screen?
I think that there should have been a reality show, especially in the past seasons. This season was a little bit different because we were all spread apart, kind of doing our own things, which is the first season that we've had that. But the scenes where it's full cast are insane. Loud and singing, and the directors are just trying to say, hey guys, and I mean one-upping each other and cracking jokes and it's just the most fun. You leave work and your stomach is hurt, like for real, hurting from laughing so hard, and your cheeks hurt, and you say, this is work, how can it be this fun? So yes, there could be reality cameras that would get a good idea of how insane the Gallaghers plus us are off screen. It's really fun.
So you also did a film called Things Never Said.
Yes.
You played Kalindra,
Yes.
right? Stephanie? There you go.
Kalindra
right.
Stepney, which I had to learn how to say too. Yes, I did. That was really nice because the one thing you don't want to get, especially when you're on a show, is pigeonholed into one particular box of what you can play.
Right.
Like, I mean, we've already talked about it. I trained myself to be able to have a range of work. That's why I went to school. I take it very seriously what my work is, and to be a well-rounded artist and not just one thing. Although people who are one thing can get paid a lot of money to do that one thing, and that works for them. For me, I like the challenges, and I like to do comedy, but I also really like to do drama, which is why Things Never Said was really a big get for me. To be a darker person of color with dreadlocks as the lead in a film is something that is not really seen or done at all. To be the hero in a film, it's just not. So that was a big thing. And then I was playing a woman who was domestically abused and who had lost her voice, and through the movie found her voice, and it was complicated. And I did poetry, which I'm not a poetess. So it's very emotional journey for me, and it was really tough. And I threw myself into this role in a way that I've never done before in any other project, because these are real women that have gone through it, and I wanted to make sure that as I was telling the story, that I wasn't just an actress just acting it. I wanted to give it some truth. And it was so great for the soul. And it was really nice, and a complete opposite from Veronica, which was really nice for my cast to see too.
Yeah.
Like, oh, Shanola.
She has range.
She got range.
She got range.
That girl's trained, honey. That girl can act.
That's funny. That's funny. And then you also have a role in the upcoming film Suburban Gothic.
Oh, yes, I
Right?
do.
You play Takana? Am I saying it right?
Yes,
Like,
I
oh
do.
yeah.
I was like, yes, I do. I forgot I did that one.
That's how you know you got a lot of work.
Right.
That's good.
I think it was named something else when I shot it. But yes, that was really fun. And what's great is the director or the producers, they like me, so they just offered it to me. So I went in and I just had some
cool.
fun doing it. But yeah, yes. Good. Thank you for telling. What else am I doing?
And you're playing Laura in the upcoming film Forever.
Yes, I am. Yes, that one's good. Thank you.
Hilarious.
Thanks for the
So that
reminder.
is. Yes, I am. Yes, I shot that actually as I was shooting Shameless, so it was really fun to go from playing one character to a lady who lost her husband and baby in a car. But anyways, that's another dark movie.
Wow.
I tend to go to the dark side, I guess, when I'm not doing Shameless.
Right.
Well, you've been in this industry for a long time now, and as you just mentioned a little while ago, seeing women of color with dreadlocks as a lead isn't always something that we see. So how have you combated that issue throughout your career? Like, we don't always see a lot of lead roles for strong black actresses.
And we still don't.
Right.
It's been a battle. I can't say that it's been a battle in more ways. It's so funny when you get to a certain place in your career and then you are dealing with the business side of things as well. So it's a battle all around. It is. People who could be in the same position on a show for a certain amount of years, opportunities sort of kind of open up that may not necessarily open up. That's not a complaint. I don't mind, because I can jump and hustle and do what I need to do. But it's a battle. I remember when I was on the auditioning track, and I've had dreadlocks for about 14, 15 years. But I remember saying, maybe I'm not getting work because of my hair. So I'm going to put this wig on, and I'm going to look like how, you know, it was the age of everybody had to have the straight, long hair. And it's like, I'm going to look like everyone else and get a job, because I know I still have the talent, so whatever. So I go in with this god-awful wig on. I do this audition. I walk out, I was like, this is not me. I felt like a fraud the entire time. And I said, there is someone out there writing something that's specifically for me, that my dreadlocks are not going to matter.
Right.
And all I can do is present myself as me. And they have to see beyond the hair. And that was the last time that I did that. So if I didn't get a role because of my dreadlocks, fine. But now my dreadlocks are a topic of conversation. because I'm on shame, you know.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things where I had to be true to myself. It didn't, and would I cut them? And people always ask, would I play something where I don't have dreadlocks? Absolutely, I would play different things where I don't have dreadlocks. They don't define me, but they are a part of me. And this is how I feel the best me. But I can play anything.
Yeah.
And look any way.
Right.
But yeah, so it has been, and I'm still working through how to be Black in Hollywood.
Speaking of Hollywood, how is it that you've been married since 2000 in this industry? What advice do you have for people?
Don't
that are
marry
married?
anybody from Hollywood. Marry a man from the South.
Noted.
Marry a man from the, you know, because we met in college, we had a familiarity with one another, and we had such a strong friendship. And the thing is, people always ask me what the secret is. For us, it was, we are not typical in any sense of the word. You're not going to find me cooking in the kitchen. Or, you know, he's probably going to cook. Or, you know, or it's not, or what the man is supposed to be, a husband's supposed to be this, and white. We're just like, we're just going to be who we are. And hang, and, you know, my wife's boobs are on TV. His frat brothers in the South are like, your wife's boobs are on TV. He's like, yeah, I got a new car. You know, so it's sort of like, it's just we just have remained true to who we are in this world. And we are very awkward and weird and different and not what people think married people would be like. Not that we're like switching keys I'm not saying that we're doing all that.
Swingers, you're not
We're
swinging.
not swinging,
Right.
I'm saying. But we're just like, we just made it work for us. And now we have this beautiful baby girl 14 years later that we were not necessarily going to have kids. And then we've grown together, much like my character, to I really want kids. And then we went through trying to have children together, which brought us closer. When you go through a year of trying to have a baby, it can rip you apart or it can bring you together. For us, it brought us closer, and we're in this spot. So he's just like the best guy, though. He's like the coolest dude. He's my friend. If I wasn't married to him, and if things ever happened where we weren't able to be married, I'd be like, you're still a cool dude. I still want you to be my friend. I like you as a person. And I think that's a big deal about when you find someone that you want to be with. You want to like them.
Yeah.
You don't want to just like depend on sex, and you want to actually like the human being, his human self, his character self, who he is a good people. And that's what you want to keep yourself surrounded by, and I have that at home. And so that's my baby.
There you go.
Okay, so before we get out of here, you have to tell us, how did you come up with your daughter's name, Kai Mayana?
Kai Mayana.
Yes.
Kai is spelled C-A-I, and a lot of people are like, you spelled the C just to be different. No, I didn't. I did research, and with a C, it means rejoice. My mother passed away. Her name was Anna. She passed away when I was 16 from breast cancer. She's one of the most wonderful women I've ever known in my life, just an angel. His mom's name is Myra, and she's also an angel. So we took my Anna, and so when you read it in a sentence, because Kai means rejoice, it's rejoice, my Anna.
Oh,
That's
that's
my baby.
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us,
Thank you.
Shanola.
This was
So
fun.
much fun.
Y'all are awesome.
I wish we had more time with you.
I know. Thank you.
Tell us where we could stalk you online.
Stalk me at Shanola Hampton on Twitter, Shanola Hampton on Facebook, but I'm rarely on there, so stick to my Instagram and Twitter. Shanola Hampton. It's simple.
We'll be there.
Thank you.
Find me on Twitter at I am Jessica King. Where can we find you guys?
As always, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, hit me up, Meg Scoop, at Meg Scoop, like scoop of ice cream, because it's yummy.
Follow me all over the internet at the Nick Perdue.
Thanks, guys. See you next time.
Bye. Thank you.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, Dario Kristen, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for tuning in to the Black Hollywood Live Network. If you have questions or comments, tweet us at BHL Online or email us at info@blackhollywoodlive.com. For more exclusive content, visit blackhollywoodlive.com. This has been a presentation of the Black Hollywood Live Network.
Hollywood Redefined.
The views expressed here are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.
Thanks for watching Black Hollywood Live on YouTube. For more in-depth interviews and news, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion in the comment section below here. See you soon, everyone. Bye.